I'm pleased to announce my nomination of Dr. Condoleezza Rice to be America's Secretary of State.
I wanted to make the argument for women's empowerment with, first and foremost, the moral cause, which is that you simply can't tolerate in the 21st century some of the practices that we see about women and their disempowerment. Secondly, I made the economic argument that societies that are not mobilizing more than 50% of their population, educating them, making them a part of the economic life, are not going to prosper. And then I used as the kind of closing argument, and oh, by the way, it's a security issue too, because in a number of these conflict zones where women are disempowered, you also are seeing a political vacuum for violence into which terrorism flows.
Women have less room to make mistakes. Have you found that in your career?
I was growing up in segregated Birmingham, Alabama. The horizons could have been very limited. But my parents and their friends would say, you're going to have to be twice as good. Just accept it. You're going to have to be twice as good. So I grew up thinking that I had to be twice as good. And it was not a matter of debate. It was just a matter of fact. I say to everyone, my students now, you know what? It's not a bad mantra. If I walk in that room and I feel like I have prepared to the point that I'm twice as good, right, I'm not going to be lacking in confidence.
And then when you get up the ladder, you had a very interesting interaction with Gaddafi, who was obsessed with you.
Yes, I don't think there are too many my male secretaries of state who would have gone through what I did with Muammar Gaddafi. When we were preparing the trip, they said he kept saying he wanted to meet me in his tent. Now, I didn't know what that meant, but I knew it didn't sound good. So I said, no, tell him we'll meet in the residence as he meets all other ministers. And we'd gotten through the whole talk. It had been relatively normal, given that it was Gaddafi. And then he said, as everyone was leaving, he said, I have a video for you. And I thought, oh no, what is this? It was a perfectly innocent little video, but it had me with Vladimir Putin, me with Hu Jintao, me with President Bush. And then it was set to music that he had written by a Libyan composer called Black Flower in the White House. So, pretty odd experience.
What would change if women ruled the world?
You would have women a part of the economic growth of the country. You would have women helping to create an environment in which human rights matters, and so perhaps less violence and less terrorism. You would deal with population overgrowth, because women wouldn't have 12 kids. They wouldn't have their first at 13. You can see so many ways that it would matter.